He was charming on the surface, always smiling, shaking hands, and laughing at the boss's jokes. But beneath that, he had a bad habit. He loved to take credit for other people's ideas. And not just once in a while. It was his thing. In meetings, if someone shared something clever, Mark would repeat it, loudly, as if it had just popped into his own head. It was almost impressive, the way he could insert himself into someone else's work and make it seem like his. People grumbled about it, but they never said anything. He'd been at the company for years, and he had a way of making himself seem too important to challenge. One day, our team was stuck on a project that had been dragging for weeks. Deadlines were closing in, and the boss was clearly frustrated. The problem wasn't huge, but no one had come up with a solution that would actually work. I had been mulling over ideas for days. And finally, one afternoon, it hit me. A simple fix. Not complicated, not expensive, but effective. I was excited. I wanted to share it with the team immediately. But then, I noticed Mark. He was lingering by the coffee machine, close enough to overhear any conversation. And I remembered something. A few weeks earlier, I'd made the mistake of mentioning an idea to him casually before a meeting. Minutes later, he presented it to the boss as if it had been his own. I had stood there, shocked, watching him get credit for something I had spent hours working on. And he didn't even blink. That memory was still fresh. So I decided, not this time. In fact, maybe I could turn the tables. I came up with a plan in seconds. When he walked over and asked what I was working on, I smiled. And I told him about a solution I had supposedly been thinking about all week. Something that sounded technical and impressive, but was pure nonsense. It was the kind of thing that might fool someone who didn't actually understand the details. I used just enough jargon to make it sound legitimate. Mark's eyes lit up instantly. He nodded along, pretending to understand, but I could see the gears turning. He thought he'd just been handed gold. The next morning, the team gathered for our big meeting. The boss asked if anyone had any ideas to solve the problem. And before I could even open my mouth, Mark jumped in. He sat up straight, cleared his throat, and confidently presented his brilliant plan. The plan I had made up. The room went silent as he spoke. He was practically glowing with pride. When he finished, the boss tilted his head. "That's interesting," he said slowly. "Can you walk us through exactly how that would work?" Mark froze. He had clearly memorized my fake explanation, but had no idea what any of it meant. Still, he tried. He started rambling, repeating the same vague phrases over and over. He used buzzwords out of context. He stumbled, backtracked, and contradicted himself. The longer he talked, the more uncomfortable the room became. People exchanged glances. One of our more technical teammates even let out a small laugh. Finally, the boss leaned back in his chair and said, "Mark, that doesn't make any sense at all." Mark's face turned crimson. You could see the exact moment he realized he had been caught. And here's the best part. I waited a few seconds, letting the tension build before speaking up. "I actually had a different idea that might work," I said. The boss gestured for me to continue. I calmly explained the real solution I had come up with the day before. This time, everything clicked. People were nodding. The boss immediately approved it. The meeting ended with a plan in place, my plan. Mark didn't say another word. Afterward, a couple of teammates came up to me and quietly thanked me for handling it the way I did. Apparently, I wasn't the only one who'd been frustrated with him. And as for Mark, he avoided me for the rest of the week. Sometimes karma takes years. Sometimes it takes under a minute. And when it happens that fast, it's unforgettable. Subscribe to Favio Fun Facts for more.